So yeah, Andy, I think everyone has their little ideas on what's wrong with the construction industry, and it's been around for a long time. Um, there seems to be a big disjoint as to there doesn't seem to be answers as to how to actually improve it in a I suppose in a quicker format. We don't want to
Yeah.
wait 30 years to drive some improvements. What are your thoughts on why this is, and what are some pointers you can give?
Um, for me personally, that all starts with your contract and ends at 391, which has taken us 5 years to get the first draft revision of the contract, right? Yeah, but if you just that's one aspect of it, yeah. But if you just dig into that a little bit more, why do we have NZ391 as just one contract that should fit all different kinds of projects? You build houses, residential houses. How is the same contract fit for purpose for building a building like, say, Commercial Bay, which is much more complex?
You just adapt then, right?
But that's where the special conditions come into place, and you start pushing shit downhill, which I don't agree with. So why aren't there varying degrees of that contract based on the complexity of the job? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an idea perhaps based on contract value.
100% contract value, or how do you split that? Say, just say complexity, right? Complexity based on value. Yep. Commercial Bay is extremely complex. Building a house, not so much. Yep. Okay. Why are we not promoting technology? Yeah. Why is the adoption of technology that this kind of leads into going right? As an industry, the uptake of technology in the construction industry is horrible.
But whose job is it? Like everyone, I mean, we all know that these are the things that need to be done, but
Yeah.
no one seems to be doing it. And so some big players do adopt a bit of technology because it makes their jobs efficient. But the
Yeah.
average job logs, that
Well,
don't
I guess that's why they set the Accords up, didn't they?
Yeah, well, that's another story. Yeah. Go on
It's a-
about the Accord. Yeah.
Go on about the Accords, but technically it should be the job of the Accords, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It should be a job of the Accords to promote this.
The Accord has been set up. There's been multiple presentations, and I've been to quite a few of them myself.
Me too.
They again, the intent is there, but the implementation part seems to fizzle away. When you do find on a daily basis things that are not actually following the Accord, there's no out. Like you can't actually. Who do you complain to in a simple way? I mean, if someone's doing tax evasion or something like that, the IRD has a phone number. You can just phone them. You can you can anonymously email them. They're open to it. Why don't we have something like that for the construction Accord? Say, well,
So what you're suggesting is, if you get signed up to an unfair contract, you want to be able to call somebody and say, "This is going on. Can we get somebody to look into it independently?"
That's right. Especially
That's a great idea, by the way. It's an amazing idea.
especially companies that are signed up to the Accord means that they are mandated by the guidelines of the Accord. And then if you find you might not have even signed up the contract yet, but you might be tendering for it or something like that, and say, hey, look, these things look a bit dodgy, but I can't obviously bring it up to you directly. Or if you have in fact signed up and things are not going according to how you'd want it, it's not fair, and all these other things that the Accord is driving, then how do you, I suppose someone will just say, well, you just need to go to a lawyer.
Lawyers are expensive.
Lawyers are expensive. Why can't this just be a simple, say take the example of a government contract, Ministry of Education, KO, there's various government departments, and you do happen to find something that you're unhappy with. Who do you contact easily?
Nobody.
I mean,
Contact
IRD is a big beast, but
Yeah.
you talk about tax evasion. You can just get on the phone and ring somebody straight away and say, "Well, I want to complain about this guy, because I think something dodgy is going that they've been investigated, right?" But when it comes to construction, it's just not there.
So it's a very interesting point, though. Literally, there is nobody you can call. So while we're talking, I'm just trying to have a think, and I'd go, what if I was in your shoes and I got signed up to an unfair contract, or what would I do?
Yeah, basically just follow the process.
What would you do? What do you do?
You go to the ETC, you plead your case, perhaps you.
Well, then you're at the mercy of the ETC, the engineer to the contract, who's been paid for by the client.
That's right. Yeah.
You're not really getting a solution
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Because he's there to protect the client's interests,
Yeah.
not to be independent.
I mean, if
In
it
most
was,
cases,
it-
that's what happens in reality.
if these things are serious, like you look at various other companies, like they have feedback forms. Some companies take those feedback forms seriously, improve their product or service. Some people is just there, they don't really pay much attention to it. So it's kind of like that. If you really want to improve something, you have feedback forms or some manner of contacting which will allow you then to improve your service or product. But if you don't want to do it, then you just put a feedback form there for the heck of it, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the job done.
Yeah. Interesting. But coming back to
Yeah.
looping back to what else I would want to see the industry changes. But big thing for me is collaboration. We'll speak about that
Agree.
a little bit. But how do you foster a culture of collaboration and not passing shit downhill? And it's not a dog eat dog culture, but it's more blue ocean strategy thinking. Where everybody wins. Yeah, everybody is in business to make money. Yep. So how about everybody wins, and you're not, and that can only happen with good collaboration, adoption of technology, having open, honest conversations.
Yeah, exactly. When people get to know each other, trust each other,
Meeting of the
they
minds.
will be more willing to share ideas.
Yeah.
And collaborate better. And I completely agree. I mean,
Because
at the moment
I've worked on a project that's happened, right? I don't know if you know, Waikato 50 is a project that I worked on. When during the COVID time when Auckland was in crisis, we had water shortage, right? So we needed to come up with a design and build of a water treatment plant to add 50 million liters a day of water
Yeah.
into the Auckland supply. Yep. So that project was designed, procured, consented, built, and commissioned in 12 months.
Right.
I mean, building a water treatment plant is not an easy thing, and the amount of kit that goes into it is
Exactly. I
insane.
understand, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was in crisis mode. Design, construction, everybody worked off the same office. Like you said, there's no pushing around RFIs. It was literally the design manager would walk to the designer's desk and go, right, come on, mate, you come up with a better design, better methodology. All right, I'll go, the procurement of this is too long. How about we find alternative solutions? There's no book in the meeting even. Just bring everybody in a common table in the middle of the floor, get going.
So it is possible.
That's 100% possible. I'm living proof of it.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
That's such a great project, And PC was literally awarded on the last day of the job. Like, obviously, it is the last day of the job, but what I mean is there wasn't a delayed PC period, where this document's missing, that defect needs to be done. None of that, All of that was a continuous process, and it was well driven.
Yeah. I think magic happens when people work together, But
Absolutely. So
we just our mentality at the moment is I don't know the reasons for it, but it's possibly due to risk, liability, and just over time it's just sort of dwindled away from that level of collaboration. It seems to be there on a high level, but in actual practice, it's happening in a very limited way.
yeah, that's something that absolutely needs to change.